In this exercise, we will be creating this animation. I'm gonna play it one more time. I go to After Effects. I click on File, New Project. I'm gonna create a new composition. I click here, New Composition, Preset. I'm gonna choose the same preset, HD 1920 by 1080 and 29.97 frames per second. Duration 10 seconds. I click on OK. And now I'm gonna import the images. I right click, import, file. I go exercise 2. I select all the images and click on import like this. I'm gonna start by bringing the sky, drag and drop, and then the grass like this. I'm gonna move the grass right here. Then I'm gonna bring stable. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna put it under the grass like this. Next, I'm gonna bring the sun. I bring the sun. I put the cursor right here on this point, and I'm gonna make the sun smaller. I press shift to make sure there are no distortions. If I let go of shift, you look what happens. That's not what I want. I press shift, I maintain, and I scale proportionally like this. I'm gonna put the sun right in the middle like this. Click away. Maybe I'm gonna put it a little bit down. Text. I drag and drop. I bring the text right here. It's a little bit big. I'm gonna scale it down. I press shift, scale it down a little bit like this. Shift, scale it up a little bit. Gonna keep it right here. Next, the windmill, part 1. Drag and drop. Gonna put it right here. And then windmill part 2, the blades. And I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna start by animating the sun. I select the sun. I'm gonna type R to bring up the rotation. And the rotation only. I make sure the playhead is right here. I click on the stopwatch. I create one keyframe right here at 0 second. I go to 10 seconds and I'm gonna click right here and type 1. Press enter. And now in 10 seconds, the sun makes one rotation. If I place the cursor right here on the keyframe and I type 10, that means 10 rotations. And now I play, you notice the rotation is much faster. I go back here at 10 seconds and I type 1, press enter, I play, and now you see we get a slow rotation like this. If we want the rotation to go the other way, playhead right here, and I click here. I'm gonna type -1 instead of 1. I press enter, and now the sun is rotating in the other direction. Now I'm gonna rotate the blades of the windmill. I click on windmill part 2. I press R to bring up the rotation. I put the playhead right here at 0 seconds. I click on the stopwatch. I go to 10 seconds and I click here. I make 1 rotation in 10 seconds. And now if I play, that's not the result we want. I'm gonna go back here. The problem is that our anchor point is right here, but it should be right here, because as we know, when we rotate, the rotation is done around the anchor point. So make sure it's selected. I'm gonna choose this tool, the anchor point tool, and I'm gonna place the anchor point right here. Now this is our new center of rotation. If I play it now, this is exactly the result we want. If I want a faster rotation, I press K to move to the next keyframe. Click here and I type 2 instead of 1. Now the blades will do 2 rotations in 10 seconds. Let's play and see what we get. Now we see the rotation is a little bit faster. Okay. Let's try 5. See what we get. Now the rotation is too fast. That's not what I want. Okay, put the playhead right here. And I'm gonna type 2. See what we get. I think this is a good speed. Next, I'm gonna select this table, and this time gonna zoom a little bit. This time I'm gonna animate the scale, starting from 3 seconds. I press S to bring up the scale like this, and I'm gonna create a keyframe at 3 seconds. I'm gonna set this to 0%, and after 1 second I click, I type 100. Now we see what we get. This is the animation we get. I'm gonna press J. Remember J and K to move to the next or the previous keyframe on the timeline. J. I'm gonna play the animation, but that's not exactly what we want. We want the scaling to start from down up. To do that, I need to change the position of the anchor point from here to here. So using the anchor point tool, I'm going to place the anchor point right here. And now if I play, this is exactly what we want. We want the scaling to start from down up like this. This is a good result. I'm gonna press J to go back to the previous keyframe. Remember J and K to move to the previous and the next keyframe on the timeline. And make sure the playhead is right here, and I'm gonna make this layer a little bit shorter by placing the cursor right here. I click and drag and make it short like this. I can shorten from here also, but I'm not gonna do that. Control Z to go back. I play, I get this animation, and now I'm gonna duplicate the stable 2 more times. To do that, I click on the layer and Control D. Now we have 2 copies, stable and stable. I'm gonna rename this one to stable 2, and I'm gonna duplicate this 1 more time. Control D, rename stable 3. Now we have 3 stables. I'm gonna select stable 2, go back to selection tool and move it right here, stable 3, and I'm gonna move it right here. Let's see what type of animation we get. I think this is a good result. Now I'm gonna select stable 2. I'm gonna move it by 1 second, and stable 3, I'm gonna move it by 2 seconds like this. Now they appear in order: stable 1, stable 2, and stable 3. If I type U, of course, I bring up all the keyframes we have in the timeline. If I press L, I hide everything. I toggle everything up, just like this. I click here, I click on fit. The last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna animate the text, welcome to the farm. I'm gonna go to 6 seconds. I click on the text. I'm gonna press T to bring up the opacity. I'm gonna create a keyframe. I think it's better if I put the playhead at 7 seconds instead. I click on the stopwatch. I create a keyframe right here, 100% opacity, and then I go back to 6 seconds. I click and I'm gonna change the value from 100 to 0%. And now if I play, see the animation of the text, how it fades in. I think this looks good. I'm gonna play the entire animation. And now the exercise is finished. You go do the same and don't forget to save.